fill me in on what are you working on here? Just so you know, we'll just record this and we can kind of take this as like a consulting call about, hey, what's it like to be in the position you're at? And I don't know, maybe it'll be interesting and we'll release it if that's all right with you, Zach.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. So I graduated with an accounting degree in the early 2010s. I didn't network enough, so I spent about 8 years doing a variety of blue-collar jobs. Most notably, spent 6 years doing the food industry. I got tired of that, and I decided to go back to school. I went to Lambda School's Data Science Machine Learning program. So I was there from May 2019 until December 2020. I dropped out. I never graduated from that program. That frankly bummed me out for a couple months, and I had to pick myself up. Just about a month ago, I started a marketing company. I mean, I just got done hiring some people. It's a lot of learning to do. I'm frankly really stressed out. But what really got me to think about the accounting profession is I saw on Reddit that somebody was making like 10,000 a day doing like taxis and stuff. And I saw your YouTube channel. I've seen it a while ago. It took me some time to eventually find your videos and do some homework before I made this call. Given my background, I'm curious how I can like potentially enter the field. If I recall correctly, you said CPA is like optional, and I mean, at this point, I'm done with school. I don't want to go back.
Good. I'm not going to tell you to go back to school, Zach. That's for darn sure.
Yeah.
That's for darn sure what I'm not going to do. So now help me out a little bit. I don't want to get too personal, but so you said you're in Chicago here. I'm 39 years old and I got a bunch of kids. What kind of life position are you at right now? What kind of flexibility do you have? Tell me about what does life look like for you?
I do not have any dependents. I'm free, like time-wise. So, well, what I mean is, I don't really have like too many commitments besides the marketing firm. I do want to eventually establish this as like a second income.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me about the marketing thing. So what are you doing? And what's it been like? Who are you helping? Tell me more about that too, because that might be telling.
I just started, so maybe about like a month ago. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm frankly kind of scared because I don't know how I can convince some people to get me to like help out with their like social media, like their social media content marketing. Mm-hmm. But I'm just gonna proceed because at this point I've already spent money on an LLC. I've already like hired people. I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think there's definitely, so ironically, so we do digital marketing, right? But mainly what we do is we do websites and we do paid search ads and remarketing ads. I actually don't do the social media stuff. And it's not because I don't think it's valuable. It's because I think it takes a certain mindset. So just so you know, if you're good at helping a business, a small business, obviously businesses are who spend money on social media, right? But if you can help them do everything from like reaching out on LinkedIn to get appointments in a good, authentic way, or if you just help get their work, right? So if I'm a construction company, a builder, a remodeler, a realtor, whatever that is, if you can help them get photos and stuff up on, and here's the ones, your Google My Business, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, you can put them on Pinterest too. As dumb as that sounds, Pinterest actually drives a lot of clicks. And you do that on TikTok. You kind of get them on all the platforms. You can be a huge help to those guys, right? The key that I've found is like, you just have to say, hey, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to post onto all these platforms. When you're done, you send me the photo of when you're done with your roofing job, right? So you go find roofers, right? And this is not easy, right? When you're done with that roof, all you got to do is you text it over to me. You send the 10 different images over to me, and we'll get them on all the platforms. Not only that, but so whatever that is, just so you know, there's value to that. And I think that, the idea is when you first get started in a business, Zach, find somebody to do it for cheap or free. So the fact that you're afraid that you can't convince somebody to buy it yet, what that really means is that you're not sure where the value prop is. And so both of my businesses, both the accounting business and Feedbackwrench, I started out by just saying, hey, I tell you what, I'm going to make a business that does this. And if you're cool with it, could I just do this for free or for cheap? Maybe whatever it's worth for you. I'll do it for, but what you want to do is you want to put some bookends to it, right? So first you got to find this person, then you got to get some bookends to it, the commitment. Hey, I'll do it for a month and a half, right? So maybe we do it for 45 days, maybe I do it for 90 days, but here's what I'll do. You take the pictures, you send them to our team, we'll update them for you, and maybe they'll create some clients for you, maybe they won't, and then I'll show you the tracking behind them, right? So that can be good. Now, if I shift into, so when you said you liked the idea of being an accountant, you said that you are educated as an accountant. Are you still up on like, are you good at getting into QuickBooks and doing that kind of thing? Or just when it comes to the core competency, help me understand what that looks like right now.
So it's been a while since I did that. But I mean, given my background, it wouldn't take me long to like get up to speed with the basics again.
Yeah. Absolutely. I would agree with that. So what I found, I even have a blog post that's called like how to prepare taxes professionally. Like you just got to go get your EIN number. If you just Google how to prepare taxes professionally, you'll see my art, and then put Feedbackwrench on it too. That article has exact links for 3 things. One, it's going to show you exactly what you do. I also have like every great article. I'm showing it on my screen right now for anyone watching this video, but this article will basically walk you through exactly where to go, what you need to get your EIN numbers, and then the non-CPA or non-EA trainings that you can get to, because you can go get some quick training like through QuickBooks or whatever it is, just to kind of get brushed up on things. But yeah, you know, when it comes to accounting, I don't discount a CPA. I don't discount an enrolled agent. There's a ton of value for people having those credentials, right? I genuinely want people to know that. Like, I think that getting those competencies up are important. The key is you have to get to a point where you can go find someone who has a problem, solve that problem on time, and meet expectation. Like that's all you're doing in any of these businesses, Zach. It sounds stupid, but like my little kids right now, I got a 9-year-old daughter and our neighbor across the street. Like they want to start a yard cleaning business. And all I said, hey, I will help you. In fact, we bought dogpoopremovalmn.com. Like we're going to make a little website for it. But I said, here's the deal.
Oh, wow.
I want you to define what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, and then how much it costs. Because all business comes down to 2 things. 1, find people with problems and take their money. Number 2, actually solve that problem, right?
Yeah.
And so whatever that is, if it's accounting or if it's the problem that, hey, a business owner doesn't want to screw around in the social media, then solve that problem for them. Now, the attractive thing for accountants is a couple things. 1, it's not going away. 2, if they don't pay their taxes, they get thrown in jail, right? There's just a thing that happens there. So the third thing that I would say is that accountants in general are hardwired to be a complementary gifting to what a business owner usually is. So the main thing that I think a business owner struggles with is that whether by nature or just the situation, when a business owner starts, it's usually like, I used to do landscaping with Johnson Frederickson Landscaping. I want to do it myself. So he breaks off on his own. He starts his own thing, right? And he barely makes any money. He kind of steals a couple clients and finds some people, right? Mm-hmm. But usually what it is they know how to do something. They know how to do something, right? And whether it's that, like for you, you know how to do accounting, right? But they know how to do something. They set out on their own and they know they have to get sales. They're usually mediocre on it, but if they get past year 2 or 3, they can do it, right? So usually just in general, they're not people that like to sit back and, if they spend time screwing around on their computer talking about their business rather than getting sales or executing in their business, they're not going to have a business very long. So the first thing is to know that usually people who have businesses that have grown out of year 2 and 3 have this thing where they're not going to spend a lot of time screwing around. They can't, right? They're either hiring people or whatever. So for you to come alongside as a highly organized person who can keep all their books in check, that can help them reduce their taxes and do their taxes at the end of the year or run their payroll or just serve as a member of that team for a flat monthly rate is attractive, right? That's where, if you watch my videos, I'm always talking about how do you go in and help people as an outsourced accountant, which means you're adding much more valuable than your typical firm. A typical firm's act, like you could do just tax returns, and you could even start out that way. So I'm not here to tell you that the accounting practice is necessarily the best way to go. Here's what I do like about it. You're able to come into a business, and if you have a little bit of head knowledge and an ability, you have to go in, and there are some things you can do to actually impact their net profits, which basically print money for them, right? Yeah. Because if you can go in and implement an S Corp strategy with some other tax mitigation strategies, and they run a 20% net profit, and you save them 10 grand, like think of, you just created $20,000 in revenue. Like you compound what they're doing, so it's valuable. So I like it because of that. I like because also you're a complimentary gifting. You can come alongside for $200 to $800 a month, help them do all this, and you're just part of, like, it just makes sense. You're like peanut butter jelly, right? Like you're the guy who sits and geeks out on the numbers and makes sure everything's perfect, and they can go out and fix diesel engines, or they can go out and do marketing, whatever it is, right? Be an attorney. And then from there, like, you can actually go in and help them just not worry about anything. So there's that. You're a complimentary thing. But then the last thing is like a good business has to have it, right? It's just part of what goes on. If you don't have something there, you're not going to enjoy it. So that's why I like accounting. I think it's a good type of business to have. It's not going away anytime soon. Our government keeps creating things to do. I don't know. What thoughts or questions do you have as I cover all that?
I probably could do some more research, but just like starting out, would you recommend like starting up a LLC as well as building a website, or should I just like start cold calling people?
No, so do you have any business owner friends or anything around you at all? Like,
yeah, I do. My neighbor, my neighbor does like interior like renovations.
Okay. So when you're thinking of starting a business, and before you're in a place where you feel confident that you can solve that problem well, because right now you have a problem, inside of yourself, do you feel confident that you're credible enough to actually do it? Like, do you think you can do a tax return yet?
For marketing and accounting, not really, but I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah. So this isn't to deter you. What I always find is that there's kind of two stages. Number one, what I would do is I would just find somebody that has this problem. So if that's your neighbor, what you should do is say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. For free or for cheap, can I help you do your taxes this year? I'll pay for the software even, and we can do it together, right? Or it could be, let me help you with your bookkeeping. You do need to get like the practical thing of like, you have to actually be able to make a cake if you're going to sell a cake, right? So the first thing is get into a position where you know how to do that. Again, that blog post that I have will show you how to do taxes professionally, right? Or you could specialize in just doing accounting. You could do that. But right now, like, you just have to get that practical credibility where you know how to do it, right? And it's the same thing on the social media side. If you're going to keep going with that marketing and that social media marketing, like, just go find people that you think there's an opportunity and just go add value. In the beginning, add value, right? And the idea is if you can set that expectation, the two phases of the business are, number one, build credibility by just doing something. And then number two, you're going to eventually prune. Okay. So the idea is, in the beginning stages of a business, for the first, depending on how good you are at prospecting and sales, this could last 2 weeks. It could last 2 years, but you need to get a whole bunch of people where you can go out and get results and get reviews. So it could be cheap or free, but you go in and say, hey, can I do a month's worth of social media posting for you? And if it's valuable, all I'd hope is that you might give me a recommendation that it was good for you, right? Yeah. That's all. And if you do that to find, like for us, we started building websites and paid ads. Like I just run them for free. I told a guy, I'm like, hey, in fact, I'm looking at his picture, Dylan. When I first helped Dylan the very first time, I just did it for free. In fact, my first couple clients I'm looking at this website here. Some of my best customers who pay me the most retainers eventually come from you just doing it for free at first. So that would be my number one thing, dude. You got to get some credibility, right? Yeah. And I think you're getting credibility in you can't negate the experience you've built up in your current business. You know what I mean? Yeah. And my dad and my pastor at our church that retired has a saying. It says that it takes a decade to really get excellent at something. And I think that's true. Like I'm in year 4 of Feedbackwrench, and I'm at the point now where our little team, I know in the next 6 years we're going to be really dominant. Like I just know it because that's where we're headed. But from when I first started, it was like you just got to get credibility. So that's what I would say, man, is like in your current business, you need to work as hard as you can to set expectations and get sales, and then execute on that, and then get Google reviews.
Yes.
And as you do that, and then I would say in the accounting side, maybe you just start with figure out how to do TurboTax and help that a couple times and whatever that is. So
actually, you know what? I think there might be like an opportunity to like do like volunteer like tax work. That's something I might do like in the winter. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I personally am a little bit overextended, but I think once the time is right, I will start up that accounting the accounting income stream. I definitely want to have multiple streams of income.
And I think most people do. Like I another way to get started, and don't sell this short. Now, if you're too stretched, it doesn't work, but go find an accountant, a CPA, a tax guy, and say, here's the deal, man. I just want to be a learn-it-all. Hire me. I'm $18 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever it is, right? The idea is as you're starting out, you just have to be worth it. And if you don't have any credibility, then you got to lower your prices till they're assured that you're going to be a good solution to that problem. I'll tell you, every accountant that I know, every single one that I serve, has the problem that they need great bookkeepers and they need great, reliable people. In fact, just in general, the labor market's so doggone aggressive. I don't care what business you're in right now. Half of America is sitting around not working. So there's opportunity for you to step in and do stuff.
Okay. I
would call those local accountants, Zach, and say, hey, here's the deal, man. I don't know everything, but I want to learn how to be really good at this. And I would love to come in for a couple of years here and maybe multiple years. And I want to become a really good accountant. Do you need help? Right. And if you were to proactively call and send a resume, hey, I'm looking for a place where I can come and add value, you're going to find a place. And if you work in a firm for 2 years, you're going to know, like, that will solve the problem of you not knowing what you're doing. So.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I don't have any other questions. Thank you so much for doing this.
For sure, man. Hey, good luck. God bless. I hope things go well for you. And you have to shoot me a little message and let me know how they go as you start making some changes.
Thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate it.
For sure. Take care, Zach. Have a good one.